Hi, I'm Justin, and in this video, I'm going to tell you all about Trustpilot's Custom Dashboards feature. Every team uses Trustpilot data a little differently. Marketing teams care about visibility and demand. CX teams focus on replies and follow-up. Until now, those insights often lived in different places. Custom Dashboards brings all of that together into a single workspace that reflects a team's goals, their preferred metrics, and their workflow. With custom dashboards, you're no longer just looking at data, you're building a shared view of how Trustpilot is performing. Now, before we get started, I just want to discuss what makes a great custom dashboard. Custom dashboards work best when they're built for a purpose. If you don't understand someone's role or business goals, a custom dashboard is just a collection of data that will probably be ignored. The best dashboards support business processes and decision making. With that said, let's jump in. Here I am in Trustpilot, and I'm going to navigate to Analytics and Custom Dashboards. And here we see a page with a list of all of my existing dashboards. I'm going to add a new dashboard so we can walk through the process of creation. I'm going to click Add a Dashboard, and here we have our canvas. To start, I'm going to give this a name, and because it's a demo, I'm just going to call it My Demo Dashboard. Okay. The next step is to add a module. Modules are the information that appear on your dashboard. I'm going to click Add Module, and here I have the Add Module window. Now, there's a lot going on here. I'm going to take my time and walk you through it. The first thing I want you to notice is this chart. This is a preview of the data that will appear on your dashboard. This is exactly what it will look like. Now, we can configure this chart using the information here on the right. The first thing I need to do is choose what metric I want to see. Now, you have access to almost all of the metrics in Trustpilot when you build a chart for your dashboard. So I'm going to leave this as reviews for now, and if you'd like to learn more about all of the metrics, please see our Help Center. I'm going to click Apply to keep the metric review. Now, the next thing I need to choose is the visualization, and I can choose from many different types of visualization. Here you see we have a stacked bar chart, but I could also choose something like a line chart. So I'm going to just choose a line chart for now. Now, you probably noticed there are multiple lines of data on this chart. So we're dealing with the metric reviews, which is a count of the number of reviews for my business. So why do I have multiple lines? Well, because we can configure the chart to segment the data by a different dimension. So that essentially means it's going to break down that metric of reviews by a different piece of information. And in this case, it's showing me the number of reviews by the star rating. Now, I can change that dimension, or I can remove it. So if I click no dimension here, you'll see that the chart updates. Now it's just the basic metric of reviews. It's not segmented by the dimension or any dimension. Okay. So I'm going to click Apply for now, just so that we can have the general metric of reviews. And the last thing I want to point out is because this is a chart of data over time, we can choose our time dimension. We could choose a day, a week, a month, whatever's going to work for our reporting. So those are the four big things I can choose here: my metric, my type of chart, my dimension or segment, and then my time dimension. I'm going to click Add to Dashboard, and there's our chart. Now I'd like to show you a little bit more functionality about what you can do with charts. So here I have my chart of reviews, and I want to add another view of the review data. So I'm going to copy this chart, and now I'm going to click Edit. So I'm going to start with exactly what I was looking at. So here we have the same window, but I want to call your attention to this row of filters above the chart. Now, this is a way for me to filter the data that appears in the chart. So let's look at an example of how I might use this. Let's say I have some geographic responsibility in my job, and I only want to see reviews coming from certain countries, maybe a few different European countries. So I'm going to click More Filters, and you can see there's lots of different ways to filter the data. I'm going to choose Reviewer Country, and now I can filter this data by country. So I'm going to choose the United Kingdom, Denmark, Germany, and Ireland. And when I click Apply, now you can see at the top of the chart, it tells me that this metric, reviews, and the data in the chart has been segmented or filtered and is only inclusive of those countries I chose. Now, I could go one step further and add a dimension as well, and we saw this before. Let's say I want to see the star rating, so I can choose star rating, click apply. So now what I'm looking at is the metric reviews filtered by country and segmented by star rating. So this gives you the opportunity to really customize exactly what data appears in your dashboard. I'm going to click Save Changes, and there's our chart. Now I'd like to show you how to add more information and context to your dashboard. I'm going to click Add Module, and at the top of our window, you'll notice there's 3 types of modules. First is a chart, which we've been talking about, but I can also add a note. And a note is just free-form text, and this is a great way to add more context to your dashboard. You can include information about what the data represents, or you could even put your analysis of the data, which is super helpful when you're sharing this dashboard. You can also add sections to your dashboard, and sections are a great way to create logical groupings of information. It makes it much easier for the reader to follow the flow. Let me show you how to do that. So let's say I'm going to add a section for my non-US part of the business, right? So I'm going to put non-US and just say that this is data from the UK and EU. Okay, now if I click Add to Dashboard, there's our section. It's not in the best spot, so let's move it above this chart that we just created. So I'm just going to drag and drop it right here. And there we go. We have our section. Now that our dashboard is complete, I'm going to scroll to the top, and I'm going to click Publish. And there's our dashboard. Now that we've looked at some of the functionality for custom dashboards, let's talk about different types of dashboards that you might create. Let's start with marketing. A marketing dashboard is designed to connect reputation to visibility and demand. This typically includes review volume and growth, TrustScore trends, and traffic to profile pages. And don't forget, you can also add AI search visibility here. The goal is not operational detail, it's understanding how trust signals support campaigns, messaging, and discovery. A good marketing dashboard helps teams answer questions like, are we becoming more visible? Are we appearing in AI answers? And are campaigns influencing review activity? Now, custom dashboards are ideal for CX teams, and here you build for action. This dashboard should surface changes in review volume, low star ratings, and response rates so teams can quickly identify issues and close the loop with customers. Filters for low star reviews or specific locations are especially useful for daily workflows. The guiding principle here is simple. CX dashboards should highlight problems that need attention, not just summarize performance. And finally, maybe executive dashboards are good for your business. And in that case, they're usually very minimal. They focus on top-line indicators like TrustScore trends, review volume, and key comparisons over time. This is about speed and clarity. The value here is a shared, trusted snapshot of reputation and business health. That's an overview of Trustpilot's Custom Dashboards feature. Please see our Help Center for more information. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.